Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and my goodness me, what a close call that was tonight. I hope you will enjoy our Friday night as organ music night as much as we will. We're very glad that the internet is working and doing its thing. It wasn't that way all day today, but here we are and it's working. We're streaming with huge amounts of data and everything looks good. Hello, we hope you're all having a wonderful time. Wherever you are in the world, and we'll continue to have a good fun time this evening. Now, my goodness me, what a day it's been. We hit the 49,000 subscriber mark today on the channel, which is absolutely amazing, wonderful stuff. So that means we're on the final countdown to 50,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can do it by Easter. Easter is the middle of April, ladies and gentlemen, so let's see if it will work. Ooh, it's exciting times. So, if you are new to the channel, if you are new to our live streams, say hi in the chat. Vanessa, my darling wife, is sitting here tonight. She will be managing the chat and saying hi back to everybody else as well. Now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a dance the night away. We are going to talk about music from all kinds of dance. There are no hymns tonight, nothing, but there will be classical music, there will be pop music, there will be light classical music, there will be ballet music, there will be all sorts of things. Anything connected to the world of dance will be here with us this evening. And I think we will actually start with some music by royal composers who wrote for royal families around the world, and wrote basically for fancy dances for royal families around the world. For example, this one wasn't really for a dance, but it was written as a dance piece of music. This is the forerunner to the modern waltz, I suppose you could say, the minuet. And back in Baroque times, the suite of dances was a very popular affair. And George Friedrich Handel, for example, wrote some suites, including minuets and marches. We're also going to hear some marches from him tonight as well, or at least one. We also have some suites by Bach for this evening. Bach, my goodness me, yes, Bach, with his French suites. Why was Bach, a German, writing French suites in Baroque time? Well, posh Baroque royals liked dancing, and they particularly liked French dancing. So this is where all these suites come from. A message from... I made it up. Improvisiert. Steffi, which Steffi? Who Steffi? Steffi Wunderlich. Das war alles improvisiert gerade, mein Eröffnungsstück für heute Abend. Das war ein Mischmasch aus allen Richtungen, die heute Abend vorkommen könnten. Anyway, right, here we are. Sweets are bad for the teeth, says Gleiswanderer. Yes, that's true, definitely. Okay, let's have a big, brawny sound in the style of... I'm pressing the wrong button, the wrong direction. There we are, that's the one we want. From the Royal Fireworks music, here is Handel's Minuet. Big noises for big kings. That was written for King George I a long, long time ago. And you can imagine a big roly-poly German guy who's just taken over the British throne dancing about in the background. I wonder what that would have looked like. I can imagine him dancing about while popping grapes. And I don't know why I've got an image of him popping grapes in his mouth. From a similar kind of music, here then, same key, same idea, the march from the occasional oratorio. And again, this is definitely a piece of music that people would have moved their things to. Moved their funky stuff, as they call it, or whatever they call it. They would have done their funky thing to this kind of music. It's difficult to imagine in this day and age, but this was the pop music of the day. And if it was good enough for the king, it's good enough for the Gartshore Gang. Oh, I left my microphone on for all of that. You probably heard me breathing and swearing in the background.
Oh, been there typing time now. Okay.
She's busy typing and not paying attention. Naughty, naughty. Anyway, there you are, a march from a Baroque piece of music. Now let's move forwards in time a little bit. Look at this. I've got all sorts of things printed out for this evening. Some requests and some spontaneous ideas. Now then, let's move to a different part of the world. Let's not have that. Let's not have that, or that. Oh my goodness. Or that. Good heavens, that's a big one. Yeah, that is a big one. Or that, or that. Let's have, oh God, not that. Or that. Hold on a minute, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. Let me see, it must be in here somewhere. Probably printed on a double-sided page, which is why I can't find it. Everyone imagines that the world of music to be danced to is, well documented around the world, and that might be the case. It's not necessarily so. There are a lot of pieces that here we are, that came to us later. And they came to us probably by word of mouth, or word of song, as it were, and some of these pieces would have been sung at us. Is that right? Yeah, that is indeed. And so we need to find out where all this dancey stuff comes from. And it's difficult to know. People have been dancing probably since the dawn of mankind. Or in this day and age, person-kind. I'm sure, everyone's been dancing about. And people started making music by, using parts of their own body. And eventually that turned into singing. And I dare say at some point they started moving around in time with music, and that became dancey. Now, over the years, of course, the Europeans spoilt it for everyone by tying everything up into sort of nice cultural historical packages that sounded pleasant to the ears. And all around the world, shall we say, more indigenous sounding music was pushed further away. However, not so in the music, but Spanish-based, or I say Spanish-based because this piece of music, I think actually has nothing to do with Spain as such. The composer had nothing to do with Spain, but it's in that kind of style. Now, the waltz, as we heard at the beginning, the minuet, also had its forefathers, shall we say, in other kinds of music. Let's then to Latin America via Spain. Or is it Spain via Latin America? Let's find out. Granada, da-dum, da-dum, dum. Hands up if you were thinking of Pavarotti during that number. Ooh, we moved, we've gone squint.
Was ist das denn? Wieso ist das verschoben?
I don't know. Bouncing about too hard, having too much fun.
Von Gleisner noch, spielst du das aus der letzten E-Mail?
Yes, yes. Ah, I love it, I love it, I love it. Now that is not only the forerunner, or that style of music, is the forerunner not only to our minuet or our waltz that we found there, but also, believe it or not, to the tango. Ooh la 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 la. Tango, of course, means touch, and people who dance the tango should be slapped against each other from top to toe. It helps if they're all oiled up while they're doing it as well. Great fun. Indeed. Any tango dancers out there? I once watched a couple dance a tango and they were as far away from each other as physically possible. They were touching each other, but basically just they were holding their fingertips like that. They were as far away as possible. I thought, that, ladies and gentlemen, is not a tango. Now, what is a tango is this bizarre piece of music that was sent to me by young Steffi Wunderlich, daughter of Alexander Wunderlich, who you always see in the chat there, and is Steffi in the chat as well tonight? Hello, Steffi. Steffi's in the chat tonight as well. Now, Steffi is a young musician, and she not only plays the piano, she's also now interested in learning the organ, which is rather exciting indeed. And we look forward to watching progress of Steffi learning the organ and perhaps one day showing us in the wonderful world of YouTube what she can do. Now, Steffi requested a rather interesting piece of music that I know nothing about. I gather it comes from some kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say cartoon because I'm old. I dare say it's animation, as it's now called, and maybe even that shorted to anime or whatever it is. I'm not terribly sure. Anime is someone from Louisiana, I would have thought, isn't it? But no, this is the new animation art from Eastern lands, I suppose. It's not that new, it's been around forever, but you know, it's a big thing now in this part of the world. And Steffi found this piece of music and sent it to me. It's a tango, it's a real tango. And it's called Tango of the, and I hope I get this right, Truppel King. It's from Shovel Knight, Plague of Shadows. I have no idea what that is. It could be a game, it could be an animation feature, it could be anything. I have no idea. If anyone knows, then for heaven's sake, tell us. I'm going to call it Annie Mae, and we're going to dedicate it to anybody called Annie Mae who lives in Louisiana. So there you are. The tango of the Triple King, apparently. What a wonderful piece of music. Good fun, isn't it? I like it. I like it. Vanessa has disappeared, by the way. During the tango, she just went poof and disappeared. Frau Gartshore? She's coming. Okay, she disappeared. She does this a lot lately. I wonder why. Right, now then, let's get into the wonderful world of, and we have to do this, if we're going to do music that involves dance, we have to involve music by the king of dance music. And it's not someone from nowadays. We're not, by the way, I'm not playing any crappy modern dance music, you know, sort of any sort of awful electronic-y, you know, I'm not doing anything like that. It's all going to be decent quality music tonight, with the exception of something silly at the end, of course. Do please hang around for the end. I need you in the audience to do all the actions. We're going to do something very silly at the end. And like I say, I need you for the actions. Now, back to the king of dance music. That would, of course, be Johann Strauss Jr., Johann Strauss II. His father, Johann Strauss I, was also called the Waltz King first, but his son took over. And he composed so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces. The piece I'm about to play is opus number 410. And I've no idea how many pieces. Here, someone out there is going to know. How many pieces of music did Johann Strauss II actually compose? Or how many opuses, opi, do we have to his name? I am going to play a couple of his pieces tonight. I think I've actually got, I've got two, and I think there's another one requested. We shall see. But this is one of my favorites, and I love the idea that, well, it's now February. Oh my goodness me, it's February already. How are we doing? Oh, tickets, ladies and gentlemen. Vanessa's waving at me. Tickets, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the music, if you're enjoying the concert, feel free to chip in, as it were, and treat yourself. Treat yourself, that's good. Treat yourself to a virtual concert ticket. There's a link there to our little PayPal page where you can quite happily do that. And it's up to you how much. You can say such and such, or you can say such and such more, or such and such even more, or you can say a free amount, let's say, I don't know, with several zeros at the end, something like that. It's up to you. So, thank you very much indeed for your help, your support. And while you're contemplating that, let me take you back to the world of romantic Vienna and the great dance halls where the upper classes of the day got together, smoked cigars, drank brandy, and danced the night away to tunes such as this. It's February, so we're coming up to spring. In other words, we're about to start hearing the voices of spring. Its original title, Frühlingsstimmen. That sounds very nice, doesn't it? Ha! Ah, I love those kinds of pieces of music. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Many, many years ago, when I was, I don't know, still a teenager, I did my Dick Whittington thing and went to London. And while I was in London, I went to visit a music publisher's, Schott, S-C-H-O-T-T. When were they? They were around the back of Regent Street in those days. Along the road from Liberties. What's the name of the street where Liberties is? Anyway, and I went to visit Schott Music and spent some money on some sheet music. I've no idea where it is. It's probably in the loft somewhere, in a box, moulding away. And I bought some music, and I bought some piano transcriptions of Strauss music, and one of them was The Voices of Spring. It's one of the first pieces of music I then took home and transcribed in my brain to the organ. So I had a piano score just like this and transcribed that to the organ. One of the very, very first pieces of music along those lines that I decided to do that with. So Strauss, Opus 410. Did anyone tell us how many opie Monsieur Strauss had? Certainly a lot. There's bound to be someone out there who dug into Wikipedia and had a look. Anyway, that's a keepy. That's a keepy. Now, there's more Strauss coming. I can even see it here. But let's go back a little in time. Let's go back to the world of suites. Musical suites for posh people to dance to. Now, as was the case during Baroque times, it was quite normal for a toff, let's say a prince or a duke or even an emperor, kings as well, obviously. Emperors would be right at the top. So you'd have an emperor, then a king, then a duke, then princes, that kind of thing. Yeah? It's the same in these days. At home, Vanessa and I are king and queen, and downstairs, Shiloh the dog, he is the emperor. He is very much in charge of us. His nickname is the Kaiser, the emperor. So there you are. Actually, and nowadays he's becoming even more international. He is not only the Kaiser, he is also the Sultan, the Sultan. So, he's turning into everything. Anyway, back to the days of Baroque times, where all around Europe, posh families would have their own musicians, and they would pay them rather handsomely. And of course, even in those days, musicians, just like today, they'll do pretty much anything for money. And even our close friend, our old friend, Mr. Johann Sebastian Bach, when he was hard of cash, he would work for some posh family somewhere in Germany. And he wrote music for various of these families throughout his time. But being Bach, of course, he made it complicated and academically interesting, I suppose, for musicians around. And some of these suites were written only for keyboard so that he could play them himself, or he could teach his posh employers to play them themselves, which did happen quite a lot. Mozart, for example, very famous examples of Mozart's trying to teach the Esterházy family how on earth to play. Was it Mozart with Esterházy or was that Haydn? Someone's going to correct me now. I can't remember my history now. But definitely Mozart trying to teach some king somewhere how to play something. And it didn't work very well because Mozart was being too precocious about the whole thing. But Bach, being a clever businessman, not just a very, 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 very good composer, he knew how to keep himself employed. And that, he came up with these wonderful suites of music. The French suites are the most famous of them, I would say. And here, I think this is, oh God, is it suite number 1? I can't remember now. I can't remember. Here, Alexander will tell us. Which suite is this? This is the courante, and the courante is a kind of it's the equivalent of the Viennese waltz today. It's quite fast. It's in 3/4 time, and it's to be danced to rather livelily. So if you imagine your posh family and the kids dancing while Daddy the Prince sat at the harpsichord or whatever instrument he had and tried to play this. Picture those scenes, if you will. This is the courante from one of his French suites. It's a piece in C minor, and it sounds, hopefully, something like this. He said famously. This is sight reading, this is Bach, so let's try it. You see, this is why I don't play Bach on a regular basis, because it's exposed. Okay, we should of course practice these things in advance, shouldn't we? But what's the fun in that? We can do it all from sight and hope that some of the right notes come in at the right time. I'm playing not very many of the right notes, and certainly not in the right order to play on Mr. Morecambe. Now, from suite number 5, a much more famous piece of music, which I think we can we can improvise, we can arrange this one. This is the gavotte. And the gavotte was a dance where people pretended they were riding horses and sort of stomped about the place. Very bizarre. I think you might recognize this one, he said famously. That's enough horsing about for now. So back to the good old days. A lot of dancing was done. I wonder. Do people still go out and dance today? And when I say dance, I mean, you know, two people, I'm not going to be politically incorrect, you know what I mean, but two people dancing together in a pleasant and way. I beg your pardon? Yes, indeed. I beg your pardon? Spät? You do know. Ja, aber du weißt, dass es da drüben erst nachmittags ist.
Ja, trotzdem, aber ich will nicht, dass es immer so zum Ende ist.
I see. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a birthday girl. We have a birthday girl this evening, or this afternoon. Actually, where they are, it's a completely different time zone to other places in the world. They are way out, well, not way out west, right slap bang in the middle, actually, I suppose. We all know the Platts, Kristin and Cameron Platt. Well, recently, remember, we had a very special birthday party concert for Kristin, and while we were doing that, we showed you some pictures of her friends and family, and including pictures of her parents, Bob and Andrea. And today, it's Andrea's birthday. That's Kristin's mum. Now, I'm not going to tell you how old Andrea is. Let's just say she's not 28, if you know what I mean. How about that? So it's Andrea's birthday today. So I think we ought to get together and sing for Andrea. Now, I know that Andrea has got some really fancy headphones to listen to these concerts on. So she will be sitting in her comfy chair at home. She will be sitting there and she will be ready for this. So sing as loudly as you can so that all your voices can come through the internet and off out to the wonderful world of Minnesota, where Andrea will be sitting celebrating her birthday. It'll be coming up to tea time, I suppose. So get the candles and the cake ready. Let's sing happy birthday, and we'll do it in a variety of styles. Andrea is the name we're looking for. Get ready for this. Happy birthday, Andrea. Hope you are having a wonderful day and will continue to have a wonderful evening tonight. Happy birthday to you from the entire Gartshore Gang, all the way around the world. How many clicks have we had tonight? Show me the little things. How many? 620 clicks in this evening, so that's fine. So over 600 people have just celebrated your birthday with you. How about that? That's exciting stuff. That's definitely exciting stuff. Now, this is the kind of music that my mum loves. And I like it too, of course, but this is the kind of thing that, you know, my mum really gets excited about. And I thought I would dig this one out because it's good fun. I've never played it, and it could be rather, it could work. It could be an absolute disaster. So actually, so we shall find out. Yep, that'll work. That sounds good. That sounds good too. Right. Tchaikovsky. Oh, we do? Oh, let's do Gerhard in a moment then. Okay. Let's do that in a moment then. Right. Peter Tchaikovsky, a wonderful composer, and wasn't he a dentist or something? It was something. He had a sort of normal profession as well, didn't he? Wasn't just a musician. Wonderful composer though, and he, of course, brought the world of ballet music back into fashion in a big way in the 19th century, and his ballet suites are, of course, some of the most famous around the world. And I think one of the best has, of course, to be Swan Lake. And I think I will try performing this evening one of the movements. It's number 4, the Dance of the Little Swans, baby swans from Swan Lake. And I found an arrangement earlier. It's actually arranged for 3 hands on the piano. Imagine you had a 3-handed piano. That'd be interesting. And if I swap the systems around in my head, it kind of works on the organ. So let's see if it does actually work. The Dance of the Little Swans from Swan Lake. That almost worked. I'm going to practice that and do that again in the future. I quite like that. It's quite difficult to do that at the end though. How many fingers can you get into one harmony? Let's find out. Oh, we have a request.
Kennst du Spain von Chico?
Nope.
Kennst du nicht, ne? Kennst du die Ja von Tom Jones?
Ja, klar.
Hast du das irgendwo?
Oh my goodness me, has that got chords? Yep, perfect.
Yeah?
Perfect, yep. Print. How about that? Right, I think we have to practice that one, but that worked quite well, didn't it? The things here in the pedals doing this. That works, doesn't it? And then with this. That works. Yeah, we need something funny for that. That kind of works, doesn't it? That might work as well. That's Swanish, isn't it? that what swans sound like? The harmonies are cool, I forgot that. It doesn't do that, does it? That's wrong. See, the arrangement's wrong. Anyway, right, enough excuses. I will arrange that myself, practice it, and get it ready for future performance. Fun nonetheless. Now, while we're moving up throughout history, let's move into the world of the 20th century. And the 20th century, of course, became a great melting pot of greatness when it came to music to dance to. And the world of popular music suddenly appeared. And of course, all eyes turned towards the United States of America. Now, let's just say because of historical events, and let's leave it at that, because of historical events, international music changed forever. And all this music that sort of originated around the world met in America. Started out sort of down in New Orleans. That was the melting pot, where the crucible, in fact, of the melting pot. That's where that started. And it spread around. And it spread pretty much up the Mississippi, so right up towards Chicago. It spread to the big cities. So some went out west via Kansas City to Los Angeles, and others went east via Washington to New York, of course. And all of these places became just great centers for musical traditions. And this kind of music bloomed and bloomed and bloomed. And without any of this kind of music, none of our modern music today would exist. Some of the first popular music to actually make it onto the printed page was, believe it or not, ragtime music. And ragtime music was originally intended to be danced to. And a lot of ragtime tunes in the beginning weren't called ragtime tunes, they were called cakewalks. A cakewalk was a kind of dance. And if you can imagine people cakewalking around, don't forget there's a wonderful piece of music by Claude Debussy, which is called something or other Cakewalk. Yeah, he wanted in on the ragtime thing as well. Now this is an early one by Scott Joplin that nobody plays nowadays, which I think is a terrible shame. And again, going back to Steffi Wunderlich, this is one that Steffi actually plays. She introduced me to this. I didn't know this piece of music. She introduced it to me. It's called Swipesy. And Swipesy, I'm not sure what that even means. So if anyone knows, then do please tell us. Scott Joplin, together with someone called Arthur Marshall, who I suspect was Scott Joplin's publisher and general shyster, I'm guessing. Scott Joplin was, contrary to popular belief, incredibly wealthy during his lifetime. But at the beginning, he was, of course, screwed by all sorts of people helping him as publishers and things like that. So I'm guessing Arthur Marshall may have been one of them. I'm not sure. But later on in life, he knew where the money was coming in from. Anyway, Swipesy from Scott Joplin and Arthur Marshall. Ooh, a couple of spontaneous requests coming in. I forgot to say earlier, by the way, the Granada. That was a request from our friend Razbaz. And on the back of that, Razbaz has then suggested is a good word, suggested something else, but we'll save that one for Sunday, I think, instead. Now, there's some more Strauss on the program tonight. Now, we're still in the classical stuff. We haven't even started touching the jazzy dance stuff. That's still coming. Don't worry. Now, we've played so far a Strauss waltz, but Strauss was, of course, also famous for his polkas. And we all know the Trich-Trach polka, which is, what's that one? That one, where you need to practice your scales. That one. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play another one, a slightly slower one and a much more humorous one. This is the Annen polka. The Annen polka. This is one of his earlier ones. This is only opus 117. One of his earlier works. And it's rather cute indeed. So get into your New Year's concert mood, and hopefully enjoy the Annen polka here on the organ of Billerbeck Cathedral. Isn't that fun? I love playing that kind of music because it's so much fun. So much fun indeed. Right, I think we will save the next Strauss for a future event because that's such a nice one. It doesn't sort of fit anymore into this. And yeah, I like it. I like it. Keep, please. Now, we have a request here for... Jez. Who else could this be for? Has to be for Jez. And Jez requested a waltz. So, Jez, please grab a partner of your choice and get them onto the dancing floor and get them ready for this magnificent piece of music. And I want you all to sing along as well. My, my, my. Can I have a top-up of my tasty beverage, please? My tasty beverage. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting that look again from the producer, which means it's time to mention ticket sales. Are you having a wonderful time this evening, ladies and gentlemen? If so, please consider chipping in and helping us out, supporting us with a virtual concert ticket. These concert tickets help us keep these streams going. They help us live. They help us purchase tasty beverages. People regularly ask what my tasty beverage is, and give me the bottle so they can see. It's a bottle of fizzy water. But normally I would drink it out of the bottle, but because I'm not a peasant in front of you, I take it in a glass, a rather smart-looking glass. Well, these are not IKEA glasses. I thought they might have been IKEA. They're not. Ooh. So there we have it. Thank you. And to that fizzy water, I add a splash of lime cordial. That's how decadent we are. So in order to keep Mr. Gartshore in lime cordial, very, 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 very welcome. And we are very grateful to you should you wish to purchase a virtual concert ticket. Thank you very much indeed. All right, are you ready to start dancing? Jez, this one is there for you, but it's for everyone to sing along to. If you're going to sing along, then pretend you're Tom Jones. why? Oh. Now, if we're going to do the Tom Jones thing, what you have to do is grab a microphone with its cable attached and then remove the microphone so that you only have the cable. And then sing into the cable. I had the wonderful pleasure of witnessing is the word, witnessing Tom Jones live in the studio once. And as a joke, he broke a microphone. Well, not as a joke, that wasn't the joke. He broke a microphone. He was singing with full voice into this microphone and he just blew the electronics because he was so bloody loud. And as a joke, he just removed the microphone from the cable and sang into the cable. Yeah, the 3 pins of the XLR cable. There was enough signal going through the cable on its own without the microphone that you could actually work out what he was singing. It was actually recording his voice through the cable alone. That's how impressive that man's voice is. Tom Jones. Tom Jones, an amazing voice. Very friendly, very polite, very nice man. Definitely. Hello, John Wilson. John Wilson saying hi, everybody. So we shall say hi. Rodi is with us. Rodi. Schön, dass du da bist. Lange nicht gesehen hier im Chat. Schön, dass du da bist. Toll. Das freut uns. Rodi, I am responsible for making Rodi play the organ, which I am very proud of. It's a fact I'm very proud of. So thank you very much indeed. Anyone who wants to take up the organ and says they want to do it because of me, that makes me feel incredibly proud. And it shows me that all of this that we do on Friday and Sundays and in between, that it's worthwhile. It's working out. I got a lovely message the other day from a young guy. I think his name was Phil. I can't remember now. A young guy. And because he's been watching these videos for a couple of years, he has now decided to start studying music at music college. I think that is absolutely amazing. That makes me very proud, and I wish him all the best and the best of luck for his studies. And I do hope he has a wonderful and successful time as a musician. I can highly recommend it to anybody. If anyone ever says to you, if you're a young person and you want to become a musician, and someone around you, like a parent or a neighbor or a teacher, probably teachers, they're the worst, if they say, no, get a proper job, take your fist and punch them as hard as you possibly can. Trust me, it's not a bad life to have, okay? Okay, you are not ever going to be rich. You are not going to be successful. That is reserved for the tiniest percentage, but, and here's the very important but, you will always be happy. That's what it's all about, I would say. That's definitely not for today. That's for Sunday. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to do something in your life with music professionally, just do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And don't let anyone tell you anything else, yeah? You will be miserable. You might have money, but you will be miserable. Be happy. That's much more important than having money in your bank account. Ask me, because I've never had money in my bank account, so I don't know. But I've always been happy with my music. And now I have the most wonderful Vanessa by my side, who makes me happy in private life as well. I was miserable in my private life years ago. And then I found my Vanessa, or well, she found me actually, and saved me from my misery. Thank you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everybody needs a Vanessa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move now to the world of modern music. And modern music means modern dancey type music. Now we've already had something there called, what did we have? We had a cakewalk. Oh, sorry, I need this book and it's on the floor for some reason. We had a cakewalk. And lots, oh, there it was, damn it. There it was. In the 20s and in the 30s, as popular music was becoming more and more popular, the craze started to compose pieces of music that would actually become dances. Here is a perfect example of one. And it's a wonderful piece of music from 1934, slightly later than other ones that are coming up tonight. And this was to become a dance craze. First of all, the piece of music was composed. They presented it around the world. Marketing was a big thing in those days. People started dancing it, and then it became an enormous dance craze. It's a wonderful piece of music. A lot of people think it's by Cole Porter, but it's not. It's by Conrad, someone called Conrad instead. It's wonderful. The Continental. Get out your tap shoes, pretend you're Fred Astaire, and let's do the Continental. The Continental. The Continental, a wonderful, 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 wonderful little piece of music. Now, one of the most famous ones from this time. Oh, I beg your pardon? Habe ich
Hast du schon gespielt?
Nee, das kommt noch.
Ja, okay.
Das kommt noch. That's, oh, don't worry. It's coming, it's coming. It's coming. Vanessa's so panicky in the background.
Nee,
Chill.
Ja,
Chill. Ich muss Geduld haben. Sag's.
Ich hab keine Geduld. Nee, wegen, ich muss ein Bild einblenden, wenn du das spielst. Deswegen.
Really?
Ja, der Bild
Oh, I see. Oh.
Noten, deswegen musst du.
Oh, well, in that case, let's do that first. All right. Sorry, Vanessa's getting nervous because she has instructions for a piece of music. Where is it then? Well, hold on, it should be here somewhere. That's probably in amongst. Ah, gib mir das bitte. Ja, irgendwo da drin. Nimm das mal und stell das irgendwo hin, nicht wegschmeißen. That's, everything is in order. Ah, here it is. Here it is. What's that? Oh, that's more. We did that. Right. All right, let's do this first then. The other night we had a very interesting piece of music from a very interesting country. We had some music from the mysterious and interesting land of North Korea. And it went down really well. Everybody really enjoyed it. So tonight we're going to do another one. Another North Korean piece of music. Now these have been discovered by our friend Gleiswanderer. Now I have no idea what Gleiswanderer has to do with North Korea. maybe at the small hours of the morning, the police will come knocking at his door and ask him what's going on. Now, anyway, the music of North Korea is definitely different to its political intentions, let's put it like that. And it's rather interesting. So here's a rather interesting, I said interesting too many times there, didn't I? Interesting piece of music. And again, I have no idea what it's all about. It's about, hold on, there was something in an email about this, wasn't there?
Ich hab schon alles.
Oh, Vanessa has everything we need. Oh, there's a story. Vanessa's about to tell us this. Tell us the story, is that correct? Well, actually, tell me what you're about to do. This is exciting. Are you going to show us the music?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Vanessa is going to show us the music. Well, I better play it properly then, if everyone's going to see the music. This, then, is a rather interesting piece of music. Here, Gleiswanderer, tell us something about the piece of music while I am trying to play it. This is apparently number 5. And interesting, definitely a much more oriental sounding piece of music than the one we had on last Sunday's concert. And yeah, but it's haunting. I think that's a nice way of putting it, isn't it? Now, who was it that said it here? Someone said, stop playing North Korean music. Well, no, why? Music deserves to be played. Some of the music we played tonight is connected to even worse things than North Korea. So let's not forget, music always has a place in history. For example, everyone loves the tune Amazing Grace, but everyone forgets that it has to do with slavery. And so on and so on and so on. Everyone loves Eric Clapton, but people forget his incredible tirades of violence and terrible things going on. Yeah. Music is a wonderful sort of ironer out of international problems, which I think is rather wonderful. And if music can be danced to, so be it. So much the better. Now, we had the continental earlier. We're now going to move to a much earlier number, and this is the one that started it all off, the dance craze. This one is called the Charleston. It was written by James P. Johnson. James P. Johnson was Fats Waller's piano teacher, believe it or not. Unbelievable. This one is called Charleston. Charleston, South Carolina. So let's dedicate it to our friends Joe and Marie. Now, Joe himself is not here tonight, but I happen to know that Marie is listening in. So, Marie, this is definitely for you. Out there in South Carolina, let's have the Charleston. And I'm going to play it with the verse. Everybody forgets the verse. Robert Wagner. Some people don't Wagner played. Some people don't want Wagner played. Exactly. Music throughout history has always, some kinds of music has been connected to some kinds of negativity. But you could say the same about any art form, to be honest. So that's why musicians don't do politics. It's quite simple. The Charleston. Carolina, Carolina. At last I found you on the map with a new tune, a funny tune, with a peculiar snap. That is how the words to the verse start. And if you haven't heard it before, I strongly suggest you go and listen to the Louis Prima version of the Charleston. It's one of the swingiest pieces of music you will ever have heard. The Charleston. Now, the Charleston was all about shaking your legs about. And that, of course, came from the world of, where did that come from? Came from the can-can, of course. I'm not going to play the can-can because I played that not that long ago. Not that long ago. Now, when the Charleston came out, everyone went crazy. And all around the world, everyone started dancing. Is this the one I'm looking for? Yes, it is. Everyone started dancing the Charleston. And everyone went crazy for it. I thought this is the most amazing dance craze we've ever had. It actually came from a musical, believe it or not. Running Wild was the musical by James P. Johnson, and the Charleston came from that. So anyway, now you know. Now, a couple of years later, some of the white guys thought, let's have a go at composing a dance craze. Now, like I say, up to this point, James P. Johnson had done the Charleston, and it became a worldwide success. It made James P. Johnson a very, very wealthy man indeed. And years later, 3 years later to be precise, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Silver, and Mr. Brown came up with the idea of a politically incorrect, well, nowadays politically incorrect song, but in those days, the bee's knees. And we're not talking about knees. Let's move a little further north from the knees, and we end up at the rump. And this piece of music was a very, very popular dance craze as well. It was called the Black Bottom. This is history, people. This is history. Black Bottom. Listen to this. the black bottom. The most politically correct of our pieces of music for tonight. You know I love political incorrectness. Political correctness has no place in the Gartshore Gang. We all say what we want and we don't care. So, ladies and gentlemen, that almost concludes our dance night for this evening. We have one more silly little number. But it remains for me to say thank you very much, or for us, Vanessa, as well, to say thank you very much for being with us this evening. Now, in the last few days, you may have noticed a slight increase in channel output. I am trying out some new ideas on the channel. We're trying to get numbers back up. We're trying to get interest back up. We're trying to grow our audience as much as possible. So do please, you are, of course, you are the inner circle. You are the inner Gartshore Gang. You are the best. And I'm going to ask you a small favor. Spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell your workmates, tell your classmates, tell your no-mates, all about us, and see if we can get more people interested in the world of organ music. Wouldn't that be amazing? So, I'm putting out more content. Some of it new, some of it rehashed, but nonetheless, it's all there. At the beginning of the week, I will be posting a video, believe it or not, on the piano, not on the organ. We will be going back to the world of boogie woogie piano for the first time in a long, long time. And we started boogie woogie pianos back at the beginning of the pandemic, remember that? And those videos were quite popular, and for some reason they're coming back all by themselves. So to add to that, we're going to have a new boogie woogie session coming up at the beginning of the week. So that's going to be good fun. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are one of our higher Patreon members, tomorrow night is tuba. Do we have a tuba here? Yes, we do. Tomorrow night is tuba night. So our sponsors concert, shall we say, will be tomorrow night for all of you. So your invitation will arrive at some point during the day tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you there. It's not just reserved for Patreon members of certain levels. It's also reserved for people who regularly and generously support the channel. So there you are. So you will all be hopefully with us tomorrow night, and then we will be back on Sunday night. Sunday night is organ music night for a more regularly request-based number. So if you have any requests, get them in now for Sunday evening. Hymns, classical pieces, jazzy pieces, modern pieces, fun pieces, film pieces, whatever. We will try to get as many in as possible. It would be great if we could get requests coming in advance now. It gives us a chance to look them up, check them out, and make sure we've got the right things. In the last couple of weeks, we managed to get some wrong, which was rather interesting indeed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to do something silly, and I want you all to join in. Dance crazes were not a thing of the 20s and 30s alone. They continued with us forever. Throughout the 50s, the rock and roll period, the 60s, the swinging 60s, a lot of dance crazes appeared. But sadly, later than that, in the 80s, some dance crazes appeared. Yellowbird, is it time for the ornithological dance tune? Yes, unfortunately it is. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up, get ready to wave your beaks, flap your wings, and wiggle your butts to the legendary, the wonderful, remember it, the Birdie Dance. Oh my God. The Birdie Dance. Tweet, tweet. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being part of our crazy audience tonight. And yes, it is only water in the glass with a dash of lime juice. But I dare say when I go downstairs now, I might treat myself to something a little stronger. I need it. I need it. Until tomorrow for our 2 bars, or Sunday for everyone else. We will see you all very, very soon. I look forward to it. Time for the bye-bye blues. Get your dancing shoes on and do the soft shoe shuffle.